some reason my video went off, but we are getting ready to cross the North Carolina state line going into North Carolina from Virginia, of course. As I was saying, if you on the Blue Ridge Parkway and you come to a sign that says Galax, Virginia, you can get off there and go to Galax, and they got some antique shops there. I've got a couple of drive-through videos on YouTube. They're just drive-throughs, just basically showing you the town, or city rather. But later on, try to get in some of the antique shops and look around in them and take some videos in there, if they'll allow it. And we just passed the junction for Highway 18. Highway 18's under this bridge here, and we're coming up on Cumberland Knob. Cumberland Knob's a nice little picnic area. They got some walking trails. I think 2 or 3 trails down through there. I don't particularly like walking, but we might try to walk them someday. But there's the entrance to Cumberland Knob, and here's the exit to Cumberland Knob coming up right there. And then we go along here on the Blue Ridge Parkway. We're only going about 10 miles maybe on this little section. Try to do some other sections later on. Speed limits vary on the parkway. 45 is the high speed limit. You get a lot of 35s, and it's curvy road, but it's more for scenic and looking at stuff. As I was saying, they used to mow the road banks all through here, but where they don't get the funding they used to. The mile marker 218 right there. Where they don't get the funding that they used to, we don't see as much mowed as we used to. And we're coming along now up to Fox Hunter's Paradise. Will be up here on your left. I may pull over and give you a shot of the view from there. It's a pretty clear day, hazy, but it'll kind of give you an idea of why they call it the Blue Ridge Parkway, the Blue Ridge Mountains. Saying coming up on Fox Hunter's Paradise, and we'll just go ahead and turn in there. Now all the signs on the parkway used to be wooden, but as times went on, they've moved to a lot of metal signs, but you still see some of the old wooden signs here and there. There used to be a sign here that told the gap, but that sign's fell down, and they see the reason they call it the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's very blue looking. Down in through there, you can't see it today, I don't believe. It's over there, but it's barely visible. It's Pilot Mountain. And y'all watch Andy Griffith and know that they Mount Pilot, which they used the name of Pilot Mountain. They used Mount area as Mayberry, but of course they filmed it in a different location. And got a lot of graffiti here. Well, at least they wouldn't graffiti up, but well, people's gonna be people. Beautiful pond down there. Alright, and we're gonna ride on out of this little place. Here's one of the High Piney Spur. There's one of the old wooden signs. Elevation 2,805 foot.
It's a lot of elevation.
If you're not from America, well, they use kilometers and all that. I couldn't tell you what they are. And then you got this little opening here, and you can go up in here. It just makes a little loop. Again, if you're from around here, this is nothing new to you. If you're not from around here, well, it's a nice little scenic view. Now, when it gets wintertime, I don't particularly care for riding on the parkway because, well, everything's dead. But when spring and summer starts coming around, it greens up and looks real nice. Fall of the year is beautiful. All the leaves changing colors. We usually peak in here sometime around the second week in October, but that also varies depending on how warm it is. And for some reason, a lot of this area, we get a big rainstorm, big windstorms, and all the leaves are suddenly gone. So you just kind of have to watch the weather. If you want to come up in the fall and look at leaves, then if they're calling for wind and rain, you might want to come on up before that. Because it sure will take a lot of the leaves away. And now we're heading on out the Parkway. And there's another little overlook. You can't pull over, but you can look to your left and see a lot of the same area we just saw. I'll try to glance that way. And there is used to be a little place you can pull under some trees up here, but I don't think many people's using it anymore. There's the view that way. Here you have Saddle Mountain. Right here's the little pullover. It's just where people pull in, get out and look around. There's some of the view back toward the mountain area. Of course, the rocks there for a guardrail. You hit them, you know you hit something. And back to the Parkway here. By the way, we're headed to church this morning, and that's where we go to church is right along the Ridge Parkway, so we'll get to that point and then turn off. This used to be a good little pullover spot. You could back up in there, but that's pretty well grown completely up. Nobody's using it anymore. That was a real good pullover spot. As you can see, it's grown up. Nobody's using it anymore. If I do many videos from the car, I may have to change this to the Hula Girl channel. Got a motorcycle. Lots of motorcycles usually riding this road. Again, for the scenic beauty of it. And that used to be a great pullover spot. And as you can see, nobody uses it anymore. Mile marker 220. We're about midway. If you keep going this way, of course, you run right into the Great Smoky Mountains, Cherokee, North Carolina. And if you go the opposite way, you run into the Shenandoah Valley and the Skyline Drive. And like I said, we're about midway roughly. So you're about 190 miles to Cherokee and about 220, about 220 miles to Shenandoah Valley. I haven't been on Skyline Drive in years. As a matter of fact, the last time I went was before I had a driver's license, so, and that's been, shall we say, a few years. Again, your speed limits through here, most of the parkways 45. There are places it drops to 35. A couple places are 25. But it's a curvy road. It's a scenic drive. It's not a super highway where you're trying to get there. It's just enjoying the ride. Here's mile marker 221. Field's actually owned by someone, so they haven't fenced it, but I think people respect that they know that somebody owns it, so they stay out of it. They bale hay there in about middle of June. You'll see the round bales sitting in there. And this is pretty much coming up to the last little bit of the leg for us. Our church is up here on the left, and of course it's Sunday morning. And we'll turn left down here, and I'll go ahead and pull in and show you the church. There's two churches here. That's been there as long as I can remember. I always say, so many centers around here, you need two churches just to keep them straight. Little joke I like to tell. Brick church there, it's old Saddle Mountain Union Baptist Church, and here's a little white church that we attend, and it's old Saddle Mountain Union Baptist Church. So they're in the same union. Here's the cemetery. I might take you right through the cemetery real quick. Saddle Mountain Cemetery. Both churches use this cemetery. I like to make a joke every once in a while. People just dying to get in here. I know it's not funny, but I like to say it anyhow, just to have a little weird sense of humor every once in a while. I don't know the oldest grave in here, but I know that it's back in the 1800s. They put up these poles to keep people from driving over the cemetery side. My son says the oldest one's 1828. There's an empty space over here. There was a lot of children died back in the flu. I think he called it Spanish flu in 1918, and a lot of children buried in that area. Which I think I can stop here and show you right there's like an empty area where no rows are behind this bench and fence, and there's a lot of children buried in there, and I would assume the parents didn't have enough money to afford stones, and I totally understand that. We used to have some crosses put up there, and they were wooden, and so they got taken down because they'd rotted out, and we're looking to try to get maybe some final ones put in there to mark their graves. Nobody really knows anymore who's there. That's kind of sad, but time goes on and things get forgotten. My backup beeper tell me I need to stop. And that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the little drive out the Parkway and up to Saddle Mountain, which Saddle Mountain's right behind the church here. On the left there's a little part of it, and let me get out real quick and just see if I can get you a little quick video of Saddle Mountain. Pardon me, I'll be bouncing around a little getting out of the car. And there is a trail across from the horn to the back of the saddle now. But there's the horn. And then you go through that little valley there and up to the back of the saddle. I guess you can see why they call it Saddle Mountain. And let me walk over here. Here's the side of the church. I'm sure everybody wanted to see the side of the church. There's my boy walking across. And this is Saddle Mountain Church Road, and the little road up there is Mountain Lake. And when you turn up Mountain Lake and go past those 4 boxwoods, you go up just a little bit more, and there's a little road that turns to the left. And you can drive up there a pretty good little ways, and then they've got it blocked. And once you get to where it's blocked, you can walk across Saddle Mountain. And you see the cemetery marker over there, starting a new cemetery over there. It'll be all connected with the 2 churches too. Everybody gets along well, best I can tell. And there's keep going that way on out to the Smoky Mountains. And as for my saying, when I'm done, I'm done. Bye bye.